one thing that everyone's taking out of this cast that is sticking, if you will, was Peyton Manning at one point in the first quarter. I caught this too.
It was early.
Talking about how when he was playing in New England, he would not have any conversations of note and would not at all let any of his teammates have a conversation about anything to do with football around his locker in the visitors' locker room at Gillette.
I mean, I felt like the Packers were listening to Eli, you and I, our conversation on Friday about we got to come out and run the ball. I think our conversation was bugged, kind of like the Patriots used to do back in the day.
We played the Patriots in that second Super Bowl in Indianapolis, and they practiced at your facility all week. Were you a little nervous going back in your facility the next year that they didn't have cameras in your quarterback room?
Every time I played against New England, I used to go and talk to my receivers in the shower in the far corner. I'm like, don't talk about a play next to my locker because I know it's bugged. I know it's got a hot mic in there.
The White Shadow 2.0 from Peyton Manning, everybody. His teammates in the shower. I wonder if they were singing doo-wop and stuff. Dated 70s reference.
Take me back.
Or 80s. Yeah, all right. Jay Billis had a cameo as a high school kid. Do the math. So Peyton Manning says this. Now everybody's like, Patriots are cheaters. They're cheating. They're cheaters. And here's the way I feel about it. My first thought was the Patriots probably aren't very happy that this thing's getting thrown out there on
recycled.
But then I thought to myself, they are probably, if I'm Belichick, I am laughing right now. I am laughing because you just heard Chris Long, former Patriot and Eagle and Ram, say that when the Eagles were playing the Patriots in the Super Bowl, they practiced plays they had no at all planned to run in the Super Bowl just in case the Patriots were watching their practice. And Chris Long's like, I'm a former Patriot. I never saw anything weird there. But I'm like, we're practicing fake plays. And then, of course, they ran the Philly special, which they didn't run in practice that week. So, because the reason why the Patriots are laughing is it helps if the opponent is paranoid and using any ounce of their mental capital on anything to do with trying to avoid being spied on by the Patriots when the spying's not really happening. Now, you could sit here and say, Rich, how do you know spying didn't happen? Because they, got busted for Spygate. And when Spygate happened, I always was wondering how it worked. Because the Patriots were not using the videos of capturing the opponent's sideline going through their signal motions in real time. It's not like they got the first half signals into their possession by halftime and then sat down and disseminated it to everyone on the team during the 15-minute window of halftime to know in the second half what's going on. Now, could they use it the next time they played an opponent? Absolutely. Which is what the problem was there, along with the fact that you're not allowed to do what they were doing. And Mangini's the one who busted him, and that's all ancient history now. And so if there was a bug, let's just say Peyton Manning's sensations and spidey sense was spot on, right? So what is happening? Is there a member of the Patriots staff sitting in a room in the bowels of Gillette with earphones on or in a van outside like Midnight Run, okay?
Like Get Smart.
And they're sitting outside and they're listening to everything and they just caught Peyton Manning talking about a play or an injured player that wasn't going to play that day. And what do they do with that information? Immediately put it in a report, a dossier that gets handed to Belichick before kickoff? Because guys not in the locker room all week. Players arrive to the visiting locker room mere hours before kickoff, and they're just getting dressed, and then they're going outside. And then they come back. Marshall took a nap in his locker. So, like, how does it work? Right? Like, okay, the buses are arriving.
Okay.
Get your headset. Let's listen in. And all you hear is like tape ripping and music blaring.
Right.
And you're trying to capture, like, did he just say the X receiver? Why? Like, what?
Right.
What are they doing? Like, how are they? What information are they picking up on the mic that is then being, by no question, the lowest member of the staff, understood that this is actually actionable material being garnered by the hot mic and then being written down and transcribed, and then run into who? Like Ernie Adams, who then writes it in a report and types it up like, Coach, I know you're getting ready. It's 2 hours before kickoff. I know you're going out there to inspect the field and go talk to this and that, right? But I got to sit down. We just picked this up on a microphone from Peyton Manning's locker.
Let's scrap our whole game plan.
Does it work
for this one thing that we heard?
And we're going to trust
the
kid who just heard it, or is it Belichick himself listening to the tapes?
Yeah, he's in his office. Like, got the headphones on.
You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, it's absurd.
It's better just
but it's great for New England to have this in the mind's eye of the opponent. Like, the Eagles just spent very valuable practice time practicing plays that they weren't going to run. Now, the Eagles still won that Super Bowl. But if you're the opponent, wouldn't you want your opponent to think something to take their minds off of what really matters for even 2 seconds? Yep. That's when I heard that. I'm like, paranoia. What, big destroyer?
Yeah.
Self-destroyer?
Kinks. Good job, man.
Thank you.
That's what it is.
You know what I mean?
Rent-free on all these teams.
Rent-free.
Well, they
right?
do have a lot of headset issues in Foxborough, though.
Well, you hear that? I mean,
Mike, you want to know why? Because Foxborough's in the middle of nowhere.
A lot of stadiums are, but there's not.
Don't you remember? Don't go there, because you don't remember, like 4 years ago when the Steelers headsets went down, and he had the inside scoop because he knows where the towers are. He knows how the sound is. He knows that. Mike knows everything about everything. Huh?
The Miami Stadium's one of the worst.
Hey, man, Miami. And I'll just finish up with this. The Miami Stadium, and again, it's not just the Patriots here that make people think this. It's a lot of quarterbacks are paranoid about a lot of stuff. And the thing they're paranoid about the most, and I swear to you, I'm not bringing this up for any sort of trolling effect, is the footballs. They are nuts about the footballs. And Brady
and Manning
and I think Hasselbeck at the time, back in the early aughts, got together and said, we are done having the visiting team handle our footballs. I swear, you put Brady on a polygraph machine and you ask him on the hair of his most important people in his life, did the Miami Dolphins in Miami always break out a new shiny football and place it on the field for the Patriots to use when Brady was trying to drive to beat them with no time left in the fourth quarter? Yes or no, Tom? He would say yes, and the needles would not move. He believes it. Did it happen? Maybe.
Maybe.
Is it allowed to happen anymore? Nope. Teams bring their own footballs, and I know we're going down another path. That's ancient history.
Science.
But paranoia is everywhere in the NFL. Always has.
Always has been.
Always has.
Hey, Rich, just to quote the great Joseph Heller, though, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not after you. So, I mean,
the old catch-22, sir. The old catch-22. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.